Handmade leather boots. One man preserves an ancient Italian tradition. However, in order to sustain this activity, the shoes would have to be sold at very high prices, making them inaccessible for many. But Andrea has found a solution. It all starts in Locali, a village in Italy.
Noi avendo un bar in paese, venivano tutti questi giovani ragazzi lì al bar. Il tutto è partito perché io ero affascinato da questo vestire, quindi ho detto o faccio il sarto o faccio il calzolaio. E sono andato a imparare a fare il calzolaio.
But he had to find someone to teach him the craft.
Sono andato a chiedere a un signore che faceva il calzolaio e ho chiesto se mi insegnava.
This shoemaker had stopped making shoes for 25 years and didn't want to accept, but Andrea insisted.
Io ho comprato il materiale, mi ha fatto vedere solo un paio di scarpe. Poi ho detto arrangia. E niente, piano piano ho iniziato così, provando, sbagliando.
However, over time, a deep friendship was built that lasted until the death of his master. So the trade was passed down and survived. Now, Andrea is the last shoemaker in his village. After taking measurements of the customer's foot, the leather is cut so that the boot fits perfectly, which is a very delicate process that requires a lot of precision. Making a mistake would mean throwing away the whole piece. The techniques used are very ancient. He passes pitch on the thread to make it more compact. This material protects the thread from water and mud, preventing it from rotting. To create the tip of the lace, Andrea uses wild boar hairs donated by hunters of the area. It was used in the past because it was easily available and there was no material that was more resistant. The hair is opened and joined to the lace, creating a knot. This is used to create a rigid tip, necessary for joining all the pieces of leather that form the boot. It is a delicate process because if the thread breaks while pulling, it would have to be started over, rebuilding the thread and attaching the tip.
E poi si monta la pelle, si monta sopra la forma e niente, poi si cuce. Certo, spiegarlo così sembra una scarpa sia già fatta, però c'è un po' un processo lungo, ecco, dietro.
Then, a very thick leather is cut, which is used for the construction of the sole. It is made to stick to the shoe form, and all the excess is cut away. Even when being careful, there are always scraps of leather and rubber left over from the shoemaking process, but nothing is thrown away. Andrea, with his creativity, has been able to create building blocks for castles from the leather scraps.
Ho un po' la passione per i mezzi corazzati, per le navi da guerra e quindi mi sono messo lì a fare questi modellini, ecco, da questi scarti.
Using the rubber from the soles, he crafted ships, planes, and tanks, all made from discarded shoemaking materials. For example, the tank wheels are made from the eyelets of the shoe, while all the ships and airplanes are made from rubber and leather. All are carefully crafted down to the smallest detail.
E lì si tratta un po' di avere di passione, di inventiva.
A line is engraved across the entire sole, about half an inch from the edge. This line serves as a reference for creating holes in the leather that will be used to attach the shoe to the sole. In Italy, it can be very expensive to keep a business open, which can make it difficult for many artisans and cause them to close their businesses forever.
Per andare avanti dovrei vendere le mie scarpe a prezzi che poi dopo nessuno riesce a comprare.
However, Andrea has found a solution to meet his customers' needs. Since he was a child, he has always had a passion for animals in the countryside. In addition to making shoes, he spends his days cultivating his vineyard to produce his own wine and raising a small flock of goats.
Da piccolo mi è stata regalata una capretta e da lì sono diventato un po' pazzo per queste capre, ecco. E quindi ho sempre allevato poche caprette, mi faccio i formaggi e la mia idea qua sarebbe di avere un piccolo vigneto e allevare poche capre.
Thanks to the sale of his wine and cheese, he is able to make a living and maintain sustainable prices for his shoes. This shoe is an old, very simple model that has been passed down from one generation to the next.
Anche il mio maestro facevano la stessa scarpa e il maestro del mio maestro lo stesso.
In the past, shoe soles were made of leather but tended to get ruined quickly. During World War I, shoemakers in the area started using airplane tires as soles. Then, around 1950, they began using suitable rubber for soles. This type of sole was used by farmers. It has a smooth sole so that the animal feces would not stick to the shoe and making them easier to clean. To create the laces, 2 pieces of leather are taken and a circle is drawn, which is then cut out until it forms a small piece, marking the beginning of the lace. The cutter is aimed, and that's how the laces take shape. Although it's difficult to sustain a business in Italy today, and managing 3 activities simultaneously is very challenging, Andrea is a testament that love and passion can overcome any obstacle.
La vita è una e mi sembra anche breve. Se uno passa la vita a lavorare per cercare di fare i soldi, mi sembra che è una perdita di tempo. Quindi ho sempre cercato di fare quello che mi piace.
His focus on avoiding waste shows us that even from small scraps, beautiful pieces can be created, just as we, through small actions, can do great things.